My baby, I love you so much. My baby's my world. I don't know what I'd do without my kitten Mitten. I love you so much.
Hi everyone, and welcome to the Long Distance Chronicles. This will probably be the last video in this series. I have some unfortunate news. I don't really even know where to start. I don't know what happened. Basically, Chris, my boyfriend who lives in New York, told me that things have changed and he doesn't really have time to be in a relationship right now, and that he doesn't want to move to my state. He doesn't want to move across the country anymore, and that his life situation is incredibly stressful, to say the least. He's got a ton of family issues. He's working like 60 hours a week. He's an EMT. He's super busy. He himself has some health issues, and it's just a really stressful time for him, and he has a hard time, or he's struggling right now with his finances. Now that's something that I could have worked with. I asked him, do you want a future together? And he said, I don't know. And when I asked him, are you still in love with me? He couldn't even answer the question. He told me that he was tired of my anxiety and my mental health issues, and that he couldn't take that my constant need to feel validated. It was too much for him. The only issue is that he works so much and we rarely talk, and he seldom will send me a message, so I'm left oftentimes questioning. When we first started dating, he'd send me every morning these long, effusive text messages. He'd send me pictures throughout the day, quotes, proclaiming his love towards me. He gave me a promise ring. Then it all stopped. Of course I'm going to need to feel validated. Of course I'm going to be confused. But that was too much for him. He couldn't take that. He couldn't take my constant spirals of anxiety, my worry about where this relationship is going, even though it was really coming from him. And he didn't have the courage to stand up and tell me that he can't be in a relationship. So then I asked him, what would happen if I left? And he said, I don't really care. And I'm like, you don't care? A year ago, you would have been crushed. You would have been devastated if I were to leave. And he's like, well, I always plan both ways. I can go either with or without. And to me, that's a simple question. I can't, well, I guess now I have no option. But before, I couldn't imagine a life without him. Even if things were stressful in my life, I knew I still wanted him. He didn't even know if he wanted me, doesn't know if he wants me. I thought that he was going to be the one. He gave me a promise ring We made t-shirts, matching personalized t-shirts, keychains, and blankets. Everything on our social media was proclaiming our love for each other. And maybe that's the issue, is that it was too glamorized. And I wasn't really maybe looking at what was really going on. That he was subtly pulling away. And now I get that he has stress, and I get that he's having a really difficult time in his life right now. Then that's something I can work with. But when he says to me, I don't know if I want you in my future, I don't know what I want, I don't care if you leave, that's something I can't work with. Because I need someone who is 100% certain that they want me in their life. And the reason why he didn't want to come to my state was because my state requires a national EMT registry exam. And he didn't want to take the exam. So, long story short, things are different. They will be different from here on out. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't even know if I should keep this channel. I'd love tips, advice. But you know what? This is life and this is real. And I wish this hadn't happened. But it does, and it did. But I'm sad and it's hard. But I know I'll get through it. And for any other people out there who are going through relationship challenges, just know that you're not alone. And that breakups do happen and life will go on. And I thought that we had everything planned out. We even had children's names planned out. But that's all changed. And there's nothing that I can do. So I just want to be real with you all. I'd say out there in the society, there's a lot of pretense. And if there's anything that I hope this channel would cultivate is realness and to be genuine and true to yourself. Is you don't need to be that glamour girl on Vogue magazine, or you don't need to be that picture perfect model on Instagram. All you need is yourself. All you need is you. You, just the way you are beautiful. I hope this video helps some of you, or not, or maybe lets you know that you're not alone, and that even sometimes the best of relationships, the ones that maybe seem that are going perfectly, may not end up being so perfect after all. Sending you all lots of love, as always. Take care. Bye. Okay, hi guys, I hope you're doing well. This is just a little quick update about how things have been going with our relationship. I'd say things are sort of the same. They're not any better, but they're not any worse. I'd say right now our relationship is up in the air, and I think at first, as you can tell, it was really hard on me, and it was really challenging, and it was kind of unexpected and came out of the blue for me, and it still is. Like, I can't imagine a future without him, but at the same degree, I need to be rational, and I need to be understanding, and I need to have compassion. And he told me that he doesn't necessarily want the relationship to end, but he doesn't know if he wants it to continue either. So he's in a place of uncertainty, and he's just super unsure with his life and everything that's going on. I mean, I've been in spots of uncertainty where I don't really know like what I want either. So, I mean, I feel for him, and I understand really, where he's coming from. So that's just kind of the update. We're not necessarily broken up, but I'd say we're not necessarily like fully together. He told me that he doesn't have time for a relationship right now, or to be a adequate boyfriend, and I respect that. I think at first that was really hard for him to be honest with me and come forward with that information, and I think for a long time he couldn't give me the attention and the time that I needed and deserved, just because of his schedule and his family problems and himself and health issues and all kinds of stuff and stress and finances, and it's just a lot on his plate. And you add long distance into that, and that's a whole different factor. Just another thing that's kind of going on is his inability to communicate, and like his lack of interest in conversing. He's not really a conversationalist, and I think that's really been challenging for me because I like to talk to people and I like to talk. Okay, so on the other hand, my family, as you may know or may not know, they weren't too fond of our relationship. So they're actually, they were saying things like, he was never the right man for you, he wasn't the right guy for you. They just saw so many conflicting interests and so many, different personality. However, I didn't really understand what they were saying because I felt so relaxed to him and so at peace and so at home with him, and nothing seems right with any other person. And I mean, granted, I've never been with any other person, but I can't imagine myself with any other person, and maybe I need more experience. I don't know. And this is kind of where I need help and a little bit of guidance, is if you have any idea what to do. My boyfriend, at first he said he didn't know if he wanted to be together, then he said he didn't care because he didn't want me to feel like I needed to stay in the relationship. He didn't want me to feel forced. So he was just like, Maddie, I want you to be happy. And I took that hard. I took that really hard at first because I didn't quite understand, and I thought he was breaking up with me. However, it was the fact that he just needed time to figure out his life and his needs. And he didn't know how long it was going to take. He didn't know if it was going to take a week, 2 weeks, months, years. He couldn't give me a time frame, and he didn't know if he was going to come back to me. So, and I have anxiety issues, as you may or may not know, and so I always predict the worst. And that ultimately, I think, led us to a lot of problems too between the two of us. And he got kind of frustrated, I think, and stressed with that because I was freaking out, and I was super stressed and super anxious, and just I was a mess. I honestly was a mess. I was crying nonstop. I didn't like per se that he said he didn't care if he wanted me in his life or not. But then I think it was ultimately coming from a place of concern and regard for me, that if he said, I want you in my life desperately, I think there would have been a pressure on my end to stay. And he wanted to give me that freedom to go out and to explore if I needed to, and to move on with my life if that's what I so chose to do. But I think ultimately he does hope, I'm guessing, hope to remain together in the future, and is hoping it'll work out. It's just that things will be different. Things have changed. He no longer will be coming to Oregon, the state that I'm in, as of now, and who knows where our future is headed. But I guess that's all part of the ride, right? So that's the update. I could really use some suggestions and advice. I'd really appreciate it. God, I'm getting really hot. Oh my gosh, I'm getting really hot. This car is on fire. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm gonna get out of this car because I am roasting. It's like 85 degrees outside and I am in scrubs and a long t-shirt and I can barely breathe. Anyways, have a lovely day and I will see you soon. Bye!